Court with Judge Vanda B. Judge, this is case number JVB 2005, Campos case.
Thank you.
You're welcome.
You all may be seated. Okay. Is it Miss or Mrs. Campos?
Mrs.
Miss, okay. You brought this case before the court. What's going on?
Well, I'm bringing my son to court to see if I can get some assistance for his son, my grandson, Julian. He's 6 years old. Juan and Julian's mom were together up until about 3 years ago.
Okay.
Had a good life, beautiful home. They were set. Then one day he comes to me. I've never talked to her since she left him. She abandoned him. She abandoned the whole family, including the grandson. So he comes and he says, look, she's gone and whatever. Okay. I just need some help with Julian because she left him too. Well, of course I'm going to say yes, you know. At that time, it was just me and my husband. So Julian had his grandpa, he had me, and everything was fine. Well, last year, grandpa passed away.
I'm sorry about that.
Thank you. And things have gotten tougher because of that. So to the point where I came out of retirement. I'm Ubering when Julian's at school. And his life hasn't changed at all. He's still literally in the house that he was in when they were a family. And he doesn't visit, like, Julian's like detached from him because it's been 3 years that he'll come around.
I do see him. I do see him.
And
I'll get to you.
Sure. And
okay.
He comes around, but I don't get any financial support. I don't see that his life has changed at all. And we had to move out of the house that me and my husband shared. And unfortunately, in this big city, the best place I could find is literally a 1-bedroom. So thank goodness Julian's small right now. He can sleep on the sofa without too much discomfort. I have the bedroom. And so when he comes over and visits, of course he can't stay because there's no place for him to stay. These are his words. He can't stay. And Julian he's just like some man that comes over because he comes over so rarely. What really ticked me off was a little bit back ago, he went and bought Julian some clothes. He also bought himself some clothes. But what my grandson had told me was that if he could have some shoes like Juan. And I said, what do you mean? He got you some new shoes? No. He said, we went to the mall, we got his clothes, his shoes, and then he stopped at Walmart on the way home and got Julian stuff. I guess because it's cheaper. I get it. I mean, poor Julian, he's getting Walmart for me, he's getting...
That's the kind of selfishness that hits differently. Imagine watching your own mother, who's already done her part raising you, have to start all over again just to cover for your mistakes. She's out here grinding, sacrificing her peace, while you're living comfortably without even a hint of responsibility. It's not just neglect, it's a complete lack of empathy. The real question is, how do you sleep at night knowing the woman who gave you everything is now struggling because you refuse to step up?
And he took him, and I thought they were gonna, maybe things had changed with him, whatever.
If I could please explain, Your Honor.
You can.
Okay.
After your mother is done.
Okay, sorry, Mom.
And then since my husband's passing, I need to get medical insurance for him. Anytime, even to take him to the free clinic is not really free. I've still got to pay whatever the prescriptions are. And then the finances, so I went and tried to get him some medical coverage, food stamps. Well, they tell me no, because with the Medicaid, they needed his information. They said that he's under child support. The mother has been paying the state child support all these years.
Okay, wait. So she's been paying child support to him?
Apparently so. I haven't seen one dime.
Okay. All right. And so Julian is under Medicaid.
I couldn't get him under Medicaid
Oh, you
because
couldn't get him
I
under-
couldn't. That's how I found out about the child support. When I asked him about it on the visit that he made to buy the clothes, he said that no, he doesn't get in it. He doesn't know where it's going to this and that. But I know Juan. There's that money. He knows what I'm talking about. You know, he knows he's getting it. But
Exactly. How does that even make sense? The mother's been fulfilling her financial obligations, but the money mysteriously never reached the person actually raising the child. That's not just negligence. That's straight up shady. This man's sitting there like everything's fine while grandma's juggling bills and responsibilities she never signed up for. The audacity is wild. You'd think he'd at least try to cover his tracks better, but no, just bold and unapologetic. The judge's face must be priceless right now because this is the kind of revelation that flips a case on its head.
well, according to them, yeah, health insurance, because I'm paying out of pocket these last 3 years, and I understood that they wouldn't even qualify him for Medicaid because, according to them, he's got medical coverage. But I don't know where that medical coverage is. I've
under
been paying it.
mom.
The mom or him or somebody's got him covered, but I don't have the information that I need to go take him to the doctor.
I understand. I follow you. Well, is there anything else you want me to know? Because there is some information I need and you just don't have it, and hopefully Mr. Campos has it. Is there anything else you want me to know, or can I move over to him?
Yeah, I just want to know, I mean, like I tell you, he plays dumb, but I just can't believe that he's let me come out of pocket, you know. When Grandpa was around, it was easier. We could pay these things. But now it's serious that I can't even get him for a common cold without having to Uber almost 20. I mean, Uber doesn't pay anything and my pension doesn't take care of it.
Okay, so let's move over to Mr. Campos. I'm not going to call you by your first name.
Okay.
Mr. Campos. Okay, so is it indeed a fact that you have been receiving child support from the mother of your son?
Yes, I have.
¿Ves?
Okay.
Te dije.
And you didn't tell your mom?
No, I didn't feel the need to.
Okay, wait a minute. Is it true that your son, your 6-year-old, has been living with your mom for 3 years?
Off and on, not totally all 3 years, off and on. I do.
What do you mean by off and on? Like on the weekend when you pick him up, or when you pick him up and go with?
I'm a promoter for a club, so I do need help, and I thought that was the agreement to go ahead and help me when I'm out of town, you know, and I'm not, as she says, I do have the house, but I'm really there, you know, and I do need help. He can't stay by himself in a house that big at 6 years old. I don't know. I know I couldn't, but.
Okay. Well, you'd agree with me that help means that you need to give her something, right?
And I do pay the health care, the $150. I do pay that.
Wait a minute. So that's the missing link here. So you pay health insurance for your son already?
Yes, I pay the $150.
Why didn't you tell your mother that? Why haven't you given her a health insurance card? Why haven't you given her anything? That's not fair.
It's not, but I paid for it. I thought that was, all I needed to do from my side. I didn't realize I needed to tell my mom everything.
What do you, it's not serving Julian?
Wait a minute, Mr. Campos. Who takes him to the doctor?
Well, I haven't recently,
Okay,
when she
so
helps
it's
me out.
fair to say that your mom probably does it, right?
Yes.
So wouldn't it logically follow that she needs an insurance card or the information?
Yes, and it's just that
So you're letting your mom take your son to the doctor and they have to call you or something to verify his insurance? That just does not make any sense.
Your Honor, excuse me, they don't call him to verify. I didn't know this. Everything has come out of my pension or my Uber money. Hips or whatever. I had no idea until I tried to file for these services that they said that Julian was getting child support. And I have told him, hey, I've got my son's phone number. I have told him, hey, this kid doesn't feel well. This is going on. That's going on. Even for physical, for him to play the...
At this point, it's beyond irresponsible. It's straight up heartless. Imagine watching your own mother drain her savings, hustling to cover medical bills, while you sit comfortably with a health insurance card collecting dust. The fact that he never even mentioned it That's not forgetfulness. That's deliberate. The judge must be fighting the urge to slam that gavel early because this level of deceit is unbelievable. And grandma, she's probably realizing she's been doing double duty while he's been doing nothing except hiding the truth. This courtroom is about to explode with some righteous anger, and honestly, it's well-deserved.
Is not only taking care of your son's medical needs, she's taking care of his daily needs. Mm-hmm. And you don't want to help her?
I do want to help her, and I thought she had all the help she needed. When Papa passed away, he left quite a bit of money for her, and I thought,
okay,
it was.
You just said keywords. He left quite a bit of money for her.
Yes.
Not for your son.
Yes.
Not for you.
Yes, and she keeps talking about going to Uber and such, but that's a pretty nice ring on her finger she has there. I don't know how many tips are needed.
Your dad got me years ago. This is not something I bought in the last 3 years.
Why does that matter?
Because she says she does Uber and such. I mean, if it's really that low, wouldn't she?
Oh my God, Mr. Compose. No.
Okay.
You
Sorry,
obviously came here to waste my time. What kind of club promoter are you?
Well, I'm sure you've seen me around, probably.
No, I haven't. You don't look familiar at all, but you're looking real unfamiliar right now. I can't even tell this is your mother right now.
This is my mother. I left her
Well, I can't tell. You're not paying your mother. You're not helping your mother. She helped you. But I don't believe that she intended to help you for life. I don't believe she intended to raise your son. I mean, she raised you.
Yes.
She's a grandmother, for crying out loud.
Yes.
Your Honor, when my husband passed away, and since he lives alone in this big house, I told him we were going to have to move to a one-bedroom apartment, or we could come stay with him. I'd have my private room, Julian have his private room, and he would have his private room.
So what's the deal with that? You're okay with your mother in this one bedroom. Why can't she stay in the big house?
Well,
inconvenience, he said. It would be very inconvenient.
Yeah,
how big is this house? How many bedrooms are you talking?
Maybe 800 square feet most, maybe 2-bedroom, half closet. It's not as big as she's saying. It's not as big as she's saying. It's
my apartment is 800 square
feet.
feet.
You're describing a room in the house that's 800 square feet?
I may have my math wrong a little bit. It's not that big as she's saying. It's really not.
How big is this house? How many bedrooms?
It's in the nice houses in Plano. So you can imagine. It's not it's a nice house.
Okay.
Because him and Julian's mom both do this promoting thing.
Oh,
and
okay.
they can do it from everywhere. So they're
I no longer see her.
She left.
I no longer see her.
But she was making good money like he makes. I don't know to the penny what he makes, but they were living very, very comfortably. And but he started this since Julian was born, the free babysitting. That a grandmother that loves her kids shouldn't have to be paid and this and that. I never asked him for a dime. I didn't need to. But since becoming a widow, it's become critical.
Okay. All right, Mr. Compose, how much money do you make a year?
$48,000.
Really?
Yes.
You make $48,000 a year and you live in this big house in Plano?
Well, then that's where all the money.
Club promoting?
That's where all the money goes to the house to make sure it's, I have so many members in the house.
Plus the child support. They didn't give me the amount because I'm not on the case, right? But who knows how much she's paying?
How much do you receive in child support? Because if she makes that kind of money,
just $1,000, and that's in that
just
40.
$1,000.
You know how much that would have helped?
Everybody does not receive just $1,000.
Yeah.
Everybody don't receive that.
Well, and that's why I paid for the $150.
You came here to waste my time. What is it? What is the amount? So you pay yourself $48,000. You pay yourself that, right?
No, it's from jobs that I try and.
How much is your rent, Mr. Compose, or do you pay a mortgage?
No, the rent a month is about $1,500.
Okay, so $1,500 in rent. What's your other expenses look like?
Your Honor, he doesn't rent. They did a big, huge housewarming party. That is his home. Him and her bought that home. It's not a rent.
So you really are wasting my time.
I am renting it. I'm not sure where she's getting that from.
They had a huge, and you know, as families talk, and we're going to try to pay off the house early, and we're going to try to even upgrade, but they didn't stay together.
So wait a minute, you closed on this house.
Oh yeah.
I may have
so you
fogged
own
up the
it.
details a little bit as you know, it was a heartbreaking, you know, I don't
So
want to
it's
go
a deed
into
in
it.
Exactly. This man's story has more plot twists than a bad soap opera. 1 minute he's flexing about his new house, popping champagne at his housewarming party, and making big plans to pay it off early. The next minute, under oath, he's suddenly just a humble renter trying to make ends meet. Yeah, okay. The judge's face probably says it all. Don't you think I was born yesterday? The receipts aren't adding up, and the only thing he's renting is space in his own head trying to keep these lies straight. This is the kind of courtroom moment where you don't need a verdict. The lies already exposed him.
The details have just been foggy since.
You've been getting over on your mother. That's not going to work on me, okay? I was not born yesterday.
Okay.
All right? So let me tell you what we're going to do. We are going to have the child support that you received, that $1,000, we're going to send it over to your mom.
Your Honor, if there's any way we can...
Yeah, hold on. I'm not finished. And I know you want to hear this.
Okay.
That's just mom's portion. You're going to pay too. So mom is going to be getting what? About, let's see, you said 40. Now I'm going to take your word for it. I'm going to take your word for it at that $48,000. All right?
Okay.
And you said $150 in health insurance?
Yes.
All right. So your gross comes out to $3,900. That brings your net to $3,280.28. And how many children do you have?
Just the one.
Just how many?
Just the one.
Just the one child?
Yes, just Julian.
All right.